Hi everyone, my name is Brianna Red Wolf Woman and welcome to Wild Wolf Magic. Yes, we're officially a YouTube. This is awesome. Thank you to everyone who supported me. Today we're going to be reviewing the tarot cards from Spirit Halloween since they're super popular this year, and I want to make sure that if you guys are interested in purchasing them, that as a tarot reader who's had a lot of experience and who has a tarot obsession currently, that I make sure that I can give you guys the best informed, educated opinion. Please note this is all my opinion. These are all things just based off of my research as well as the just context of what I learned in tarot as well. Each tarot experience is unique, but this is my experience with this deck. So let's get started, shall we? Welcome to my workstation. It's a little unorganized, but so is me. So let's start. The box is really good quality. It's pretty much like your standard deck. I mean, if I had to compare it to any of the decks that I've worked with, it's like it's like a lower grade version of the Ethereal Visions in terms of it. But yeah, let's get started, shall we? Here we go. Oh, ooh. Okay, first off, okay, big, strong, hunky man right off the front. Hello, this is the Knight of Swords. Where's the guidebook? Wait. Where's the guidebook? Where's the guidebook? Did we seriously not get a guidebook? Oh, Lord. Well, we're not off to a good start, Spirit. Okay, so first off, they're not in the traditional setting of like you have the major arcana up front or the minor in order. It's kind of all over the place. The art is beautiful though. Like, I will say that the art is beautiful. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Now I'm worried. Oh no. Spirit? What is this? Why do none of the cards correlate? What is with the voodoo and Cthulhu looking and indigenous, and oh Lord, I'm scared to go through the rest of this now. This is not going well. It got worse. Ah, shit. It's worse. Oh no. Well, end of review. Bye! Just kidding. It's wow. Okay, first initial thoughts so far. I'm not big on the texture. I am really not keen on the fact that not only do we have Kali, Baron Samedi, a weird version of Cthulhu, voodoo, and indigenous Tengri and Boreal shamanism. And then we go to, like, they're all branched out in weird settings. We have, like, for the Wheel of Fortune, it's an Inquisitor, and the Chariot's a Centaur. I mean, okay, why the Hermit's a Yeti, though, that's funny. The Hanged Man, okay, the Fool is kind of cool, I'll give it that, but this is... What? No! This is the Lovers. A succubus. I got problems with you, Spirit. You need me to have a chat. So I pulled out the cards that have that I have issues with, that don't really symbolize what it means, and we're just gonna go through a real quick history of tarot and where it's come from and how it's kind of gotten into the modern setting of today. So tarot was developed in India way before the Knights Templar Crusades, but because the Knights Templar were traveling and moving pilgrims through there, they ended up on the Silk Road and would go and find this form of divination. They brought it back and turned it into a divination game called Trumps that became very popular in the Renaissance and especially during the Black Plague. Now the Black Plague was before that and well we're at the 13th century, but during the Renaissance, the Black Plague, this was kind of seen as like a medieval therapy, if you will. Like, we have our psychology today, this was their psychology at the time, and the church approved it because it was a game until people started to be making a profit off of it, and this was the minority groups at the time, such as the Romney Shah, and yeah. But now how it's gotten into the modern circle is definitely through the continuation of that, but also we have Wicca to thank for that as well, because they brought it really strongly back, as well as tarot's always kind of been around. Divination has always been around. This deck, however, I feel like this is what she would... This isn't Trumps in terms of the game. This is a game. This is so you go, I'm the witchy one at the party. This is the card that already spelled the most problems for me, and it's the Five of Pentacles, because the Five of Pentacles symbolizes at times suffering, hardship. Some interpret these two as the lovers because they are going through the trials of life with each other. We're just gonna bump this up just a little bit. There we go. Is it in frame? Okay, now we're good. Sorry. What is this? What in the name of cultural appropriation is this? You have like Tengriism and Buryat shamanism, and you have Eastern Siberian and Eastern Asian shamanism, and then you have Porky Roach from indigenous shamanism and the fringes of indigenous shamanism, but then you have braids and what is with this card? This, and then it goes, this is an air or a Taurus sign? Like, what is this? Okay, the Queen of Wands symbolizes financial prosperity. It can also symbolize authority. It is a very strong financial indicator card. Like, okay, so Lilith is already a hot topic in debate within witchcraft and in spiritualism because it is debated whether or not it's a closed practice. I don't have enough research on that to make an informed decision, so I can't, but in all good consciousness, I cannot agree. What is this? What? Like, this is... I don't understand it. It shows none of the original symbolism of the deck, which is you have the darker side here and the light side, which can symbol prosperity and as well as financial hardship. You have lions, which symbolize strength. You have the sunflower, which symbolizes fertility, as well as the cat. And you have a strong woman. And when it's paired with a card that is a man, this shows that it's an indicator of financial prosperity, but also it can indicate greed in some sense, especially if it is reversed, then it indicates good fortune. What is this? There's no... Like, we have Lilith kind of depicted as this bat-winged demon, and from the artwork as well as a lot of the cultural stuff, there's not... That's not how she's depicted. And then we have, like, what is this up at the top? This kind of, like, occulty level symbolism. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but then it looks like we have, like, the reversed star, the 7-point star, but even so, it looks like a terrible rendition. I'm getting disappointed with this deck. Oh boy. Oh boy. I feel like we're really dipping into the stereotype of a voodoo practitioner. So the Hierophant symbolizes traditions and authority and structure, and is more often than not, it's associated with religion. I mean, from what I have researched on voodoo, and let me make this very clear, I'm not a voodoo practitioner. I don't know anyone who does voodoo. Well, I know people, but I don't, like, have a physical relationship with them. I feel like a lot of this is like, oh, we have like bone root working, and we have a mortar and pestle for grinding herbs, and then the voodoo doll, and then we have like this. I don't know if this is supposed to represent like the Loa or something, but this is like, this is weird to me because it pulls out, like, we have the cock in the corner, and this card does not give me good vibes, and I feel personally that it does not align with the Hierophant, and it just pulls out like the stronger key concepts of what we see in voodoo that's been stereotyped and marginalized, and this is really weird. I'm getting really disappointed in this deck. Oh god. Okay, so Baron Samedi or Baron Sandi is one of the gravekeepers. And this is supposed to be representative of the Page of Pentacles. Oh man. Okay. So the Page of Pentacles is supposed to represent the message bringer. He brings news, he brings... Sorry, just took him. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles represents study, scholarship, education. It's also a message bearer. It brings news and tidings. And I mean, I guess that correlates with Baron Samedi, but the overall vibe I get from this deck is that they did not do their research. And I could be 100% wrong, but this deck makes me so uncomfortable. This deck makes me uncomfortable. Okay, what in the Cthulhu hybrid weird symbol bullshit is this? What is this? Okay, I gotta sit, before I go any further, I have to send some photos to my friend, and I have to get confirmation on this, because this is ridiculous. Alright, so I talked to my friend, and we are both, like, I sent him photos of this whole deck, and especially this, because he works with the Infernal Divine, and he's very into the Call of Cthulhu and the Necronomicon, and so I asked him for his opinion on this, and he pretty much was like, what in the absolute garbage is this? And he brought up some very valid points with also the Baron Samedi deck, or the Baron Samedi card, and the Voodoo Hierophant card, that these demons and voodoo do not mix, and this deck is just, oh my god. So the devil is supposed to symbolize connection, lust, desires, because that's why you have the naked individuals. It also symbolizes temptation, as well as, sorry, give me, my brain is thinking. Yeah, ravage, violence, force, and fatality. Basically everything I said. I'm disturbed, and I feel like I need to go shower after this deck. So I guess that's now out of the way. Let's talk about what it's like working with this deck. So let's do a reading together. So we're gonna do our standard cleanse. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I do not have a good feeling about this. Alright, let's think on a question. Actually, let's do an interview spread. So, tell me about yourself. That one. What readings are you best suited for? That was quick. Ugh, I hate. Alright, I'm gonna speed this up. So, now that we've shuffled, we get to this. That was brutal. Like, this deck, whoever chose the material, you suck. Because it is sticky and it is awful and I hate it. And we have, okay, so for describing yourself, this is the Queen of Wands. This is apparently a very greedy deck. This is a very financial deck for mine. Then we have the Page of Pentacles for how can we best work together, which is very Samadhi. The strengths are death, the weaknesses are the Three of Wands and the Two of Wands. Then how can we best work together, which is the Five of Wands. And then a message for me is the Seven of Swords, which is the Cannibal. I'm frustrated. The reason I'm frustrated is because this deck to me is not, it feels hollow, but it obviously does have something, and especially if you cleanse it and imbue it with your magic and as well as your intentions and thoughts, it will go places. I think the fact that this deck is picking up on the fact that I'm angry with it, and we're having a rough start. So according to this deck is about financial and prosperity and so on and so forth. How we're going to work together is that this is going to bring me a lot of messages. This is going to help me study. This is probably going to help me teach you. Then we have the Death card, which is its strengths. This is going to help bring about a lot of change. And then we have the Three of Wands and the Two of Wands. And this is going to help us forge new relationships as well as really hone our skills. And then the Five of Wands, which is what readings this is best suited for. It's already picked up on the fact that I'm mad. It's already picked up on the fact that I'm fighting and I'm ready to go. And then it's the Seven of Swords on the bottom, which, why does this have the symbol of Aquarius on it? Why do any of these have astrology? I got problems with this deck. So in terms of the deck itself, it is a very pretty deck. I'm not going to lie. The artist that they did for this, it's in a very cartoony crosshatch style. I think my biggest issue with it is the fact, that it's confusing. It's confusing because you don't have the traditional symbolism, you have the base symbolism of both, but like we have a lot of culturally appropriated stuff in here. I mean, we have, our classic movie monsters, and then we have like the Minotaur, and then we have the Valkyrie, and then Arachne. Like, we have all these Greek monsters, then we move into voodoo, and then the world is Ouroboros, and we have some of the like Kabbalah and the clip-off symbology here, but it doesn't make sense. And then we have like this deck, I feel, is all over the place. Like, it's just all over the place. Oh. So what is my biggest takeaway from this deck? It's not ideal. There is too much cultural appropriation to it. The quality of the deck is really low. It sticks in your hands, and sure, with playing with it over time. My other issue is the fact that this deck, even though it is $7, does not come with a guidebook. Most decks, even if they're of a lower range, like for example my little mini Rider-Waite, came with the tiniest little guidebook, like this teeny tiny. This deck is not worth it, in my opinion. It's a scam. But here's the other thing. This is my opinion. And I'm very big on symbology. Let me clarify that. I'm very big on symbology. I don't like the fact that most people... So, what's the final consensus on this deck? I wouldn't get it. And here's why. There are too many cultural appropriation factors to not be ignored. The voodoo, the Judaism, the clip-off, the Kabbalah. There's too much. There's too much. And I don't feel comfortable. I would not feel comfortable. Excuse me, we're just gonna adjust this. I would not feel comfortable to you, my followers and viewers. God fucking damn. So guys, the biggest thing with this deck is the reality that it is not. It's not appropriate, like not at all. Like I would strongly advise getting this deck. There's too much cultural appropriation in it. It also does not come with a guidebook. Remember how we saw at the beginning it doesn't come with a guidebook? I don't recommend that either, because yes, you can go out and buy a guidebook, and I think that's what Spirit is trying to do, but that's not okay to you. It's not okay to you guys to have to go spend more money when majority of all decks come with little guidebooks like this. This is my Universal Rider-Waite. Like, it's very frustrating. Okay, so guys, the biggest thing that I am gonna imply. So the biggest issue that I have with this deck is the fact that it's not culturally appropriate. It's incredibly insensitive. It's got symbolism that it doesn't even know how to describe. And another thing is the fact that I don't like the quality of it. This will bend over time, especially if you are an intense card shuffler like I'm not. I'm sorry, I have arthritis. But also the fact that we don't even know what most of these astrological, there's no guidebook. There's no guidebook for you guys to fully kind of understand what's going on, and it's aggravating. There's a trend right now with mysticism and occulticism, as well as witchcraft becoming more mainstream and new age and prophesized, and that happens with anything in life. But I hate also the fact that your oils get on this hand, your hand oils, like it leaves them grimy and filmy. And so whoever designed this deck, I'm sorry, I know that you were just trying to make money, but your bosses are terrible people. Because this is one of the worst decks I've reviewed so far, and I'm mortified. Like, this is a joke. I think that, but here's my thing. Again, this is all my opinion. You do not have to take it as credit. I am just saying that from my years as a tarot reader, this deck is not okay. There's no original symbolism. It feels like there was no effort put into this deck except for we're going to pair images with possible meanings. But I don't feel like this deck is good for beginners. I feel like it's kind of like a nostalgia deck. Like, you know, where you're like, oh, I gotta get this deck, like my Avatar Arcana Darrow, or any of my other tarot decks that are like my Midnight Gospel, like any of those that are like TV related, like my Game of Thrones deck too. Those are nostalgia decks, and I think this is meant to be a nostalgia deck, but they're also advertising like spell books next to it and everything. This can be a great way to learn your tarot, I will say that, but the fact that it doesn't come with a guidebook, and it just makes my hands really oily, and it's very hard to work with, and it cuts a little bit too. I mean, that will dull with time, but for $7.99, I guess it's worth it if you really need it. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And this is just the beginning of this channel. It'll get a lot better, I promise. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.